how's it going? I'm Tex. This is Tex Talks. I hope y'all are having an awesome day. Today's topic is addressing a question that I was asked, which was basically understanding the difference between happiness and joy, and also how do you get both? What does it mean, and what's the difference? So I'll start with some basic understandings that I have, and I'll tie in some other stuff so that maybe parts of it will make more sense, give you a chance to do some looking on your own of some of the other things that I talk about that tie in with this. There are several places, I'll start right off the bat, that you can go and read things about happiness and joy. If you read the stuff from the Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, they have a discussion about this, and a few things are said. You can find that stuff online. There's lots of definitions. Generally there is a consensus that happiness is something that can be achieved and usually is tied to getting something and is in itself reliant on external factors. I'm not saying that you have to have something to be happy, but generally more happiness is equated to the feelings you get that are more temporary and related to achieving a goal, getting something. Somebody wins the lottery, they're happy. Somebody brings you ice cream, you get happy. The idea, though, is that happiness has a lot to do with something adding into the mix. In other words, acquiring something. And yes, some people say, it's happy when you don't have anything at all. True in a way. It's very complicated. And I say that because the thing that occurs is there is like an achievement, a getting, something happening. Now, on the flip side, joy is something that you become. In other words, without any outside achievements, it's possible to reach a state of joy through understanding and being simply yourself. I just don't know how to say it in any way that makes it less complicated without taking away what the complicated nuances of this feeling. And so let me go through it again and say it like this. Joy is something you don't get just from achieving goals. Joy is something you become, and you become because you're able to reach a level of satisfaction and okayness with yourself. You, through effort, through being able to at times be mindful, maybe using meditation, maybe using mindfulness. Sometimes it's other things like prayer, things like that to help center and calm your mind. And in that way, joy becomes, in its own way, a sense of calmness, a general feeling that becomes pervasive throughout you and last over time. Happiness, some people can easily lose their happiness because the thing that brought them the happiness got taken away. You have that new job that feels awesome, and you just like, hey, I got what I wanted, I got promoted, I'm happy, and then something goes wrong and you lose that. Or even you have a fear of losing. You've achieved something and then you lose that something, money, wealth, power, status, and then now you're unhappy. And notice you're more likely to hear happy and unhappy. You're not likely to hear unjoy, because joy is a state of being that you become. Another way of looking at this is there's a philosopher and a psychiatrist, Fromm. He actually wrote books about the idea of having versus being. Having is also something that is equated to commercialism or consumerism or acquiring things. Being is becoming something through effort, being the kind of person that you would like to be through your own mental efforts. It's not something that you look up and get, because again, even the word get puts it back in the happiness. You don't get the things that make you joyous. You become joyous. Mental effort. You can have lots of things in your life that you enjoy. The partner, husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, the job, the car, the money, all these things. And they provide a temporary measured happiness. Here's the other part to really focus on. Most things, and this will give you that big difference, most things that you acquire and become happy, the happiness that comes with acquiring starts to wear off and you need more of it. It's like a drug. If you get lots of money and you're happy, after a while, you become complacent with the amount of money you have and you need more to be happy. You become immune to the level you've got. So you have to have more in order to keep up the high, almost like a drug. Joy, on the other hand, as you work to become joyous, you acquire skills of mindfulness and you use them to be able to focus and self-calm, to be able to contemplate and think. You start to feel joy, become joy, be joyous, not because you got something, it's because you're actually starting to become one with other things. And you can feel that around you and you can feel that for other people. And I hope that helps understand a little bit about that. It's one of those things that you really have to contemplate and think and understand and go back on and then ask yourself, what is it you want? And I have people will say, well, I want to be happy. And again, happiness is that emotional state that comes usually with acquiring, which means that you can't be happy all the time unless you acquire all the time and you acquire more and more. It's much like bribery. It has its own way of getting bigger and bigger over time. It's a drug, it's an addiction, and you have to give it more in order to get the same high. You don't have to do that with joy. You can find joy over the simplest things. Just seeing life and appreciating it can bring lots of joy. It can bring happiness, but remember, happiness is a part of the emotions that go up and down, and joy is a state of being. If you want to feel joy, be joyous, a lot of times that's about being that way for other people, for other things, and just your state of being. Happiness is about getting what you want, and it may or may not make you happy tomorrow. It made you happy now. There's no guarantee that same thing's going to get you there tomorrow. So that's why people will tell you work for the joy. Don't work for just the happiness. Don't turn it down if it comes your way. No one is telling you you have to not enjoy the things that make you happy. Just consider what they do. What's the cost? What's the long-term cost and benefit? And once you're able to put all that together, then things get a little bit easier to just relax and pull back, be mindful, and understand more about who you are, what the world is, and get more in touch with yourself. I hope you have an excellent day, and I hope you work towards being mindful, achieving that state of being called joy. I also hope and wish for you happiness and a reduction in the suffering that you feel in life. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you later.